Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you for tuning in to another Morning Breakthrough with Coco, helping you undo so God can do. Let us be thankful for another day, not promised, but indeed graciously granted. It is so good to be back, so good to be back. I think it's been a little bit over a month probably since I did the or finished up the last teaching series. And so now I am back. Had to wait on what my new assignment was going to be, and now that I have it, I'm back and ready to kick it off with 31 days and 31 ways that you can be accelerated into purpose. So, for the next 31 days, we're talking about 31 ways to be accelerated into purpose. I am Kokisha LaShawn, the founder of Be Accelerated into Purpose, where I serve as a spiritual mindset coach. I'm also an author, teacher of spiritual growth and development, as well as a writing coach and editor. Uh, but I want you to remember me as the Purpose Accelerator, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So I am going to. This is going to be broke down into four concepts or four levels of growth, so to speak, with spiritual, personal, professional, and relational. So this week we're talking about spiritual growth, how you can be accelerated into purpose from a spiritual perspective. This morning, I actually want to start off by sharing with you two things. How my business name and brand name came into existence and what it actually means to be accelerated into purpose. So I posted on my personal page how I've actually been up since 4 o'clock this morning, woke up and couldn't go back to sleep and ended up thinking about, what I was going to say on the live this morning, and actually had to go back to the sermon that started it all, and that's where I want to begin. Be accelerated into purpose. The name of my business is not just some fancy name that I came up with, and the Purpose Accelerator is not just a brand name that I came up with. I was a huge fan of Pastor John Gray, and I don't say was because of what's going on. I had a core five of preachers that I listened, online preachers that I listened to. Him, Joel Osteen, Bishop T.D. Jakes, and I don't even remember who the other two was. But some up and coming preachers caught my attention that I started listening to more so, and my core five has extended into a core 10 now. But I was a huge fan of Pastor John Gray, and I was listening to. I think the series was The Speed of, and this particular sermon was titled The Speed of Purpose. And I actually had to go back in my notes, and I was like, I know I wrote some stuff down, and I even went back to my Facebook page where I posted it. It looks like it was January of 2018. When I first heard this, and as I was listening this morning, just in hindsight, I realized, like, wow, so many things came into play that I didn't even realize that were actually kind of spoken in that sermon. But in this particular sermon, I think it's from Matthew 3, and he talks about John the Baptist, and he labels John the Baptist as an accelerator, so to speak. So he's talking about being accelerated into purpose, and John paving the way for Jesus in the suddenly moments, and how how God sometimes shifts us just like that in the moment, or the sudden shifts that happen in our lives. But what really got me as I was listening to him, because this was the beginning of 2018 when he actually did this sermon. So as I was listening, I was in a place where I was myself trying to figure out, okay, Lord, what is my purpose? Like, what do you want me to do? But let me backtrack just a little bit, because the end of 2017, or probably maybe September 2017, I think, I heard a sermon, and there was a phrase that the preacher spoke: see self as God sees. And if you've been following me any length of time, then you know that has been one of my favorite phrases. And it's actually the name of my last book, See Self as God Sees. But when I heard that phrase, that it literally pulled me out of the funk that I had been in. It resonated with me in such a way, y'all. I had heard many people pray for years, have your way with me, Lord, but that had never been my prayer. Because when I heard people praying that, I saw them having to do things. It was like, I don't think I'm ready for that. For instance, especially people with missions, that's especially people who are called to mission, that were going across seas or even just moving, period, but having to uproot their lives and go here or go there and sell things and move their kids and just leave everything behind to go set up a school here or to go set up something here. And it was like, yeah, I don't think I'm ready for that. But when I heard that phrase, that's when, oh, my alarm going off. I forgot if you hear, I don't know. That just lit a fire up under me. And that is when I first started praying to God, have your way with me. And when I prayed that gets into something totally different, because he had to work some things out of me. But that was kind of the beginning stage of me moving into my purpose. So I heard that phrase, see stuff as God sees, that lit a fire up under me. And I was like, okay, Lord, have your way with me. And then in January, I hear this sermon talking about the Purpose Accelerator. And he talked about purpose igniters and purpose expanders. And as he was talking, I knew I wanted to start a coaching business. I knew I wanted to help people, but I didn't have a business name. I didn't have any of that. But in that one sermon, y'all, that's where Be Accelerated into Purpose was birthed. And that's where the Purpose Accelerator brand name even came from. So obviously I had to do my homework. I like, okay, I don't want to just put this name out there and not knowing what the purpose is behind it. And I'm going to be talking about purpose tomorrow, actually, but I wanted to talk about the accelerated part first today. But when I looked up the word acceleration, 3 words stood out: push, provoke, and catapult. Push, provoke, and catapult. So, as the Purpose Accelerator, and here's the definition for it. John Gray mentioned it. Pastor John Gray mentions it in his sermon. That is the person assigned to push you into the thing God determined you to be. And when I heard that, that just hit me in the spirit like, yes, that's me. That's it. I am the Purpose Accelerator. Now, obviously, it's a lot of Purpose Accelerators in your life, but that's just the brand name that I go by, the Purpose Accelerator, because that is what God has called me to do, is to push, provoke, and catapult you into your next. What exactly does that mean? That means to push, to move you beyond the space that you're in now, to move you out of stagnation, to move you out of the place of being complacent, to move you from where you are now to where God wants you to be. Provoke. What does that mean? That's where the challenging part comes in. That's where I challenge you. That's where I've been known to stir things up. That's where you are to be provoked, to be stirred up. And I forgot what the other definition was that I put down. But in other words, it is challenging you to get outside of your stinking thinking. That some people, that's what the phrase that some people use, stinking thinking, to get outside of the self-sabotage, to get outside of the guilt and shame that the enemy has bound you to. So that's what the provoke part is. And catapult is just to launch you into that. And so here's where the whole acceleration part. So let me go back. So as the Purpose Accelerator, my assignment is to push, provoke, and catapult you into your next level of greatness. That is simply moving you, challenging you to launch into your next. So that spoke to my spirit, and I was like, yes, Lord, that is me. And here's the thing, because I kind of mentioned this yesterday in the group, in the welcome video in the group, how I am here to help you move, here to help you take action. One of the reasons I created the group was because I am in just being honest, separating those who are just wanting information from those who want the information but then want to know how to apply it. I am an action person. I am a hands-on person. So it's like I don't just say things for you to just take in and then keep doing what you're doing. I want to give you information, but then I want to help you apply the information that I'm sharing with you. So it's all about taking steps. It's like, I want to see you grow. I want to see you move forward. I want to see you break barriers. And I worked with people and I've seen them move beyond what they even thought they could do. And one of the things that Pastor John Gray mentioned in his sermon was you have the purpose accelerators, you have the purpose igniter, and then you have the purpose expanders. So here's the thing that I know in teaching you, I know that you will get to that point where our season will be up. And that is fine, because then you have to step into the next phase so that the purpose inhibitor can now help you function in your purpose. And guess who the purpose inhibitor is? The Holy Spirit. You have gotten out of your mind. You have gotten beyond the guilt and shame. You've gotten beyond the self-sabotage of thinking you're not enough, which is what I help you to do. And that's why I am a spiritual mindset coach, because I help you break free of the strongholds and move beyond your past and the guilt and the shame and all of that, so that you can start seeing yourself as God sees you. But once you get to that point, once you understand and know, oh, this is what God has called me to do, then there comes a point when you now have to rely on more heavily on the Holy Spirit. And that is your purpose inhibitor that actually helps you to move in your purpose, to figure out the vision to go along with your purpose. Then he talked about purpose expanders, which are the people who help you expand your vision beyond what you could do alone, so to speak. So, and in some ways, I am a purpose expander, but I know that my ultimate main role is as the purpose accelerator. So he talked about those three things. But anyway, so what does it actually mean to be accelerated into purpose? So we know that when we hear the word accelerate, it means to go faster, to launch into something. And yes, but here's what I want people to understand as far as being accelerated into purpose. It doesn't mean something is going to take off overnight. Being accelerated into purpose as far as what my business and the services that I offer and what I do as a coach is, when you get out of your mind, when you shift the way you think, when you shift your perspectives, then you see things in such a different light that it's like things just start happening all of a sudden. Not because they were not there, but only because you were seeing through the wrong lens. For example, when I started 2017, October 2017, I went to my very first, so this was after hearing the phrase, see self as God sees. This was after praying, Lord, have your way with me. This was after taking on an assignment to be part of a book anthology. But I went to my very first business or entrepreneur event. I did not know what was to come after that. And when I listened to the sermon this morning, I heard him talking about how your life is about to shift in such a way in 2018. And I don't even think I even made the connection or realized it, but I know that in 2018, my life did take a shift because I changed the way that I was thinking. Before 2018, I saw people, and it's funny because I gave a small speech in the speaker training that I was doing about how a person sits at the windowsill watching everybody go by, watching life pass them by, watching everybody, getting in their cars and doing their thing, and they're just sitting there waiting for opportunity to drop in their lap. And I remember literally having that same mindset, watching people travel and go here and take vacations and do this. And in my mind, all I ever thought was, I wish I could, but I don't have the money for that. But when I heard that phrase, see self as God sees, And when after I went to, and I prayed, Lord, have your way with me. And I went to this entrepreneur event. After that one event, the person that hosted it, he introduced me to a group, the Black CEO group. And when I became involved in that group, that shifted me, that pushed me, that was my accelerator, so to speak, because I met so many different people. And through that group, I was able to attend. That's where I met Dr. Ruben West and attended the Black Belt Speaker Training event. It's a 3-day event that he hosts twice a year. And I was able to go to the one in April in Chicago, and I was able to go to the one in October that was held in Kansas. Before, had it not been for that shift in my mindset, the mindset shift or the change in my perspective or the outlook on life or even seeing myself different, I would have never gone to those events. But going to those events opened my eyes. It allowed me to meet different people. It pulled me more out of my comfort zone because I'm such an introvert, and networking was like no, I'm not ready for that. But I got into it. But again, because I changed my mindset. And one of the things I talk about is how so many people are not walking in their purpose because of how they think, because of things that they believe. And so my job is to help you get out of those places and so that you can move forward. So that's what I mean by being accelerated into purpose. When you change your mind, when you change your perspective, then you see things, doors start to open. It's like things just happen just like that. But only because you changed your mindset. Now, does that mean that you don't have to put some work in? Yes, you still have to put some work in. Like this was 2018, and it still took me a while to get to some places that I'm still working on, even just building my tribe and different things and learning how to market. And marketing is not my strong point. So there are still things that I'm having to learn. But again, when I changed my mindset, when I got out of my own way, but most importantly, when I got out of God's way, he introduced me to people. He put me in places to meet different people, to meet millionaires, that I would have never met before, but to just give me a glimpse of, what else is out there. So being accelerated in the purpose, that does not mean that you work with me today, you are in your purpose, or you're being a coach today, or you're being a speaker today. It's simply about getting outside, changing your mindset, getting outside of that self-sabotage mode, getting outside of I'm not enough, or I'm not good enough, or I'm not perfect enough. It's getting outside of those thoughts, those thoughts, and seeing this is how God sees me. This is what God has for me. I am qualified for this. He considers me qualified for this. I have enough, and I am enough for this. So when you see, so to be accelerated into purpose is to change your mindset, to change your perspective. Because when you do, you see things so much differently. Where you used to say, I can't, you now say I can. Where it used to be I'm not, then now is I am. So again, so see how things just change for the better, so that you can move forward in your purpose. So being accelerated into purpose is all about a mindset shift, and it's all about you changing your perspective to move forward. So I don't know how long I have been talking. It is 7:07. So I am beyond my time. So again, these will only be maybe 15, 20 minutes, still the same time frame as before. But I just wanted to be able to get in and get with those who are serious about making moves, serious about coming outside of their comfort zones, and just need that safe place to start sharing and opening up so that you can move forward into your purpose. So, and I know I said Fridays I will be doing Q&A sessions, but I think I'm going to switch that to Saturday, because each week it'll be Sunday through Saturday. So I think I'm going to make that Saturday when I will do Q&A sessions, because that closes out that week, so to speak. So, but I will be, so what's new, I guess, for this series or this assignment is that I will be on the weekends as well. Probably not at 6:45 a.m., but I will be on in the morning. So anyway, that is today's lesson, today's teaching on how Be Accelerated and the Purpose came into play, and what it actually means to be accelerated into purpose. We have to move some things out the way so that God can start moving in what He has for us. Thank you for tuning in to another Morning Breakthrough with Coco, helping you undo so God can do. I am the Purpose Accelerator, here to push, provoke, and catapult you into your next level of divine greatness. Have an awesome Tuesday. Be safe. Love you. Bye.